Welcome home, Rat Pack. Marcus here, and welcome to the archive. Today, we are going to be talking about some devastating stuff happening right now with a person or eBay seller who is quite literally destroying pieces of SpongeBob history. And by destroying pieces of history, I mean he is taking some of the original animation artwork, some of the backgrounds from the SpongeBob SquarePants Season 1 production, and taking a pair of shears, a pair of scissors, and cutting them into pieces. Many of you guys know, I consider myself a huge SpongeBob archivist. One of my biggest goals is to archive that's why this channel is called The Archive, and to preserve as much of the history behind the SpongeBob brand and the memorabilia and everything that's associated with SpongeBob. So what I'm going to show you today, guys, is it would be like the most devastating scene in like a horror movie for me. Like, I could see somebody's guts get pulled out.
You call him? Back in my day, hiccups could turn a fella inside out.
I could see somebody get hit by a roller coaster in like a Final Destination, but this really gets to me. So I figure I'd talk about it. There's a lot of people talking about it on the internet right now. I hope you guys like my little archive setup here. We can sit down and have these like discussion type videos. But many of you guys know Velisky Bum, probably. He does a lot of like cartoon news videos and stuff like that. He did an amazing job covering this topic already, but he does, snippet videos, kind of talks about them for like 2-3 minutes to give you the news, and then, on to the next story.
Recently, some online talk has spawned from this. Production art defiled, destroyed, torn up from original backgrounds to be sold for a profit at a small price.
But he did an amazing job covering it, but I kind of wanted to dive into it, show some of the deeper aspects of the situation. He talked about it though. There was a huge Twitter thread talking about it. I've seen some people on Reddit bring it up a bit too. All of these conversations within the SpongeBob community. But the seller that we're talking about, the person who's doing this right now, it goes by the name Animation Art World. I've seen this person's page many a times. You guys may know I own a couple of SpongeBob animation cells and some production sketches and stuff like that in my collection as well. So I've seen the user before, but I only recently saw these items get put up. So these right here are some cards that he essentially made himself. Let me go ahead and bring them up so I can give a better example. It's got his name on the top there, Animation Art. He has like a little seal covering up a top loader, and then the OG SpongeBob United Plankton logo there, and the background, of course, is like the pineapple theme. And to me, it kind of makes it seem like they're trying to make it look almost like something official that maybe Nickelodeon released at some point. But of course, it couldn't be anything further from that. But you'll see this little cut up snippet. So that is actually you'll see the little paint line of what is one of the Bikini Bottom clouds. And that is an actual background for SpongeBob. I mean, he took literally a direct note out of Mr. Krabs' books. Like, he defiled a piece of history.
Am I really gonna defile this grave for money? Of course I am! Jackpot!
Some of them have sold too for about like, $50-$60, but often what they do is have a background. They'd print this background so that way many people could work on it. And then they would also get cells and move those on the background so that way the background can stay consistent and the characters can move about. Or as somebody who collects a lot of this production artwork, the backgrounds are often a lot more rare than the actual cells. Cells were made in mass quantities because you had to have a cell for basically the entire movement, whereas you only got really one background that they would hand paint and then they would print that out. So these are hand-painted backgrounds that he's cutting up here. And I just didn't even want to believe that that was the case. So here's one right here. It's going to get worse. So stick with me. I know it's sad to say, but it's going to get worse. So stick with me. This right here is the shot that he's showing in that actual little snippet there. So he shows you what the actual background looks like that it came from. And I wanted so badly to not believe that this was real. So I went to the actual episode that this was in. This is from Valentine's Day. And I went through the entire episode frame by frame to try to find this exact background to see if it was in there, because like, oh, maybe it's just an unused background, still messed up, but maybe it wasn't actually used in the production. But lo and behold, sadly, very, very low and behold, I found it. So this is the actual background right here from Valentine's Day. It's about 4 minutes and 38 seconds. You'll see Sandy here in the chocolate blimp actually floating through the sky there. And that right there is the actual background. You'll see the exact same blue cloud with the yellow cloud there, and then also the pink flower cloud there as well, connected. Obviously, it's more cropped in because this cell would have been moving across this background to give her the simulation of, you know, flying forward. But that's it right there. That's the exact scene you would be getting. This is original artwork for one of the biggest cartoons in history. One might even say the modern day Mickey Mouse. With Disney, a lot of that stuff was very well archived within Disney's own vault. You know, they did sell some stuff off, of course, but with Nickelodeon, they didn't really know how big SpongeBob was going to be. So a lot of that stuff did get sold out to different businesses to sell out to consumers, essentially. And I think it's awesome. It's really cool that you can own a piece of your favorite cartoon. That's why I have a few. And once you buy them, they're your property. Like, this guy has the full right to cut these into pieces if he wishes to. But it's just really sad to see it happen nonetheless. Realistically, just to possibly make more money than he would have with the actual background itself. And in the description, he says that the backgrounds being used for the cards were salvaged from being disposed of because of the horrendous conditions they were kept in before purchase. Creased, water damage, etc. What is being done is salvaging what does not have major damage and creating cards so that many can enjoy a piece of cartoon history that would not even exist. Luckily, they are partially saved. Thanks. To me, that just seems like a way for him to kind of justify what he's doing, when in reality, if you really wanted to, you could have just sold the backgrounds like in a worse condition, you know, just made them a little cheaper. SpongeBob is going to inspire so many different animated shows in the future, and so much media in the future. So being able to look back on some of this classic art and comedy is going to be something even more appreciated as time goes on. For example, if you look at the first ever comic book for Superman, Action Comic Books #1, I mean, that book sells for millions of dollars, literally millions of dollars, because it's the first ever piece of Superman. And Superman is like the father of superheroes, essentially. So many things came off of Superman. And in many ways, SpongeBob is similar to that. So, and its production art falls in a very special place, being that the first season really has a lot of that artwork, because right after that, they switched to digital artwork, which is preserved in a much different way. And for Action Comic Books #1, I mean, even in a one condition, I can show you a beat up, messed up copy of the book. Even in that condition, it can still sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So condition really isn't all that important. Of course, it is important to try to preserve them and keep them in great shape if you can. But as time goes on, the series is over freaking 25 years. We're on the 25th anniversary. As time goes on, things will happen. Life will happen. People will try to preserve these things, and a hurricane could happen, earthquakes. Things can happen that are just part of life. They're facts of life. But I don't think that humans should be the ones to take that step to cut them and ruin them even further. If anything, those events and those situations that the pieces go through only kind of add to the history and just show how enduring the artwork and the series has been throughout these years. But this is just one of the arts that he actually has here. So we're gonna look at some of the posts people put on Twitter. This is the one that I saw originally that got my attention on, and it's from a user named Reevy Rat on Twitter. It says, "They own the original title card from the show intro, which I fear will be chopped. Someone needs to save this piece of history." And you'll see the created by Steven Hillenburg. Like, as a SpongeBob collector, I would give up so many items in my collection just to have that particular cell right there. To me, that is a grail upon a grail of grails, an unbelievable piece. And then you do have the title there with the original SpongeBob and the United Plankton Sponge there. As of when this post went up, he actually already did. Like, from what I was able to see, he already did cut up the SpongeBob title card there with the United Plankton. And after this post kind of blew up, I seemingly saw that one kind of disappear off the internet. Like, it wasn't on eBay anymore. But I can show you screenshots that I took of it already kind of being chopped up, of what I believe is that background, unless there's something I'm missing in the translation of the way that the listing was posted. But I can't really quite look back on it because I can't even find it anymore. And then within this post, it says someone needs to save this piece of history, like being that somebody needs to purchase it, so therefore we can save it before he chops it up. And I could say that I personally tried. I was willing to figure out some way to get any extra support, or being able to just take it all out of pocket to somehow preserve at least the created by Steven Hillenburg one. I don't know if that one was cut up into pieces. I messaged the seller asking it, hey, like, I don't know if you've cut it up already. I would be willing to purchase the Steven Hillenburg one as is. Just let me know a price and we could try to figure something out. I would love to be able to save that one. And I don't even doubt I could have probably got people to in our community to maybe even back me up to be able to pick it up. So therefore it didn't get cut up into pieces. But I never got a message back. I'm presuming that's likely because maybe it's not there anymore. I don't know. But regardless of condition, I would have loved to have picked up a piece like that or just been able to save it. So I don't know if it even is savable at this point. Yes, and then you can see a post right here saying he did it. He chopped it up of somebody who already took the same screenshot I did showing the background there for the title card chopped up. But that title card and the created by Steven Hillenburg, there's much less of those and there is a lot of other backgrounds. Like for example, the background of the Krusty Krab, there's a lot of them because the Krusty Krab is in like 70% of the episodes in season 1. But with the background there, you're talking about a singular shot that is you're talking about a singular shot with one cell over it being the name. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's 1, 2, maybe 3 of those that were ever created, due to the fact that why wouldn't they just reuse the same one for every single episode? That and the title card would be the only ones that kind of stay the same and just switching it based off the writers for that particular episode. How many of those particular pieces there were? Really? I wouldn't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's less than a handful of them that even existed. So to see one of them get cut up is just really unfortunate. And I can only presume that it was to make more money than they would have made selling it as one solid piece that was damaged, because those pieces are really small. If he's selling them for $50 each, if he gets 100 pieces out of it, that's $5,000. $5,000 is double what a lot of the backgrounds typically even go for. So in my mind, it was literally, like I said, a straight Mr. Krabs decision to just try to see if he could maximize the profits on that piece rather than selling it as the background. Because I did see a lot of people saying on the Twitter thread, like, oh, why doesn't he just sell the whole piece? He would have made bank. He probably would have made somewhere between maybe $800 to $1,200. But like I said, if he can get 100 pieces out of that and sell 100 of the cards for $50, that's way more than that. And again, I'm not casting any judgment in the sense of this person's moralities, of who they are, you know, what they're doing. You never know what they're going through in life. I'm just giving you my opinion as to why it shouldn't have been done. You guys can let me know in the comments down below. What's your opinion of this? Do you think it's okay? Do you think that the person, it's their item, so, they should be able to do whatever they want with it? I do believe you should have the right to do whatever you want with something that you own, but at the same time, I also have the right to give you my opinion about that decision. And I just made this video to really hope to just kind of tell you guys, hopefully if you're a big fan of this show too and into the history of it, that you maybe just could reconsider picking up any of these pieces, because if you pick up any, you're only supporting this. And if you pick one up, honestly, like, I don't see that as a flex. Like, being able to show somebody a fragment of a background from the show isn't really a flex to me. Like, it's not really that impressive. And I think even being able to hold that and look at it and see like, oh, this was actually in the show, is kind of tainted by the fact it was destroyed, right? This person can do whatever they want, like I said, but it's in hopes that if you watching this video or anybody who sees this video owns any animation cells or acquires any animation cells, this is something that you reconsider doing, because it does have an impact on the show's history. You have taken on a responsibility by owning some of these cells, and we're lucky to even be able to own some of these pieces. Like I said, considering that a lot of studios keep this stuff really under lock and key, we're very fortunate that a lot of those season 1 pieces are available to the public, and I don't think that's something we should take lightly. I think that if this path is the direction we take and more people start buying and cutting cells in this condition, it would only be a matter of time before a majority of them are in pieces, and I just would hate to see that happen. So again, you guys let me know your opinion in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. I hope you guys enjoyed this style video. If you guys want to see more of them, let me know. I have a bunch of different ideas planned, and it's not fun, this particular topic for sure, but I'll see you guys in the next video. I just wanted to give you guys a little update, a little conversation video today, talking about some stuff happening in the community. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe. If you guys want to support the show, you guys can go check out our Patreon. The link is down below. When you sign up, it's only $2 to sign up. You'll get invited to our Discord, where you can talk and hang out with a bunch of people in this community. Somebody in our Discord had posted about this probably like a week before this video is even getting posted. Go check that out if you guys want to see what's going on over there. We're always talking about new things coming up, and Nickelodeon, not just Spongebob. And you also get early releases of a bunch of different videos, extended versions of my videos on Comfort Cartoons, a bunch of other stuff. So that link's down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios and bloop.